Nice. So you had plenty of Rice Krispie treats this weekend.
Yes, too many. There's still 3 more in the fridge.
Well, that means there's 3 more to finish tonight.
Yeah.
Here, y'all have one right after the podcast,
No.
one right after your night shower, and then one in bed.
No. I had one earlier today already. Maybe I'll have one after the podcast.
Oh, you said you've had too many treats and you've had a Rice Krispie treat.
Well,
That's
yesterday
fine.
I had a lot. Yeah. So it's moderation. But
Well, everything in moderation, including moderation.
okay.
Sometimes you got to pig out a little bit.
And I did yesterday, so I don't need to do it again today. But it was a good time. My sister gave me birthday presents because she hadn't seen me since my birthday, and she got me a little set of blueberry flavored teas. It came with blueberry tea.
Oh.
And blueberry flavored sugar.
Sounds quite nice.
I had some earlier, and it is really good. I usually take tea to lunch every day for work, so I'm gonna make some little. I make tea bags with loose leaf tea. You take a coffee filter, cut it in half, and just tie it with some string. I think I will turn all of that into tea bags and have that for lunch this week because that sounds really nice.
Nice. Some nice lunch blueberry tea. That does sound nice.
It's very tasty. As far as I can tell, it's just black tea with dried blueberries in it, so very easy to replicate, but quite good.
Well,
how's your week?
Well, the birthday that keeps going. It's what's a good week?
Yeah.
Worked. Got to do my run today. Did some fishing.
I've not thought about working out.
I'm feeling pretty sleepy, if I'm being honest, but re-energized now that podcast time.
Yeah. I ended up sleeping. Let's see, did I sleep like 10 hours last night? I was thinking
that's a good chunk.
Might have caught a little something because I was starting to sound really raspy by the end of the evening last night.
I think you might have a little bit of a bug.
Well, I feel fine now. I guess I just needed to sleep it off.
Oh, well. You ready to jump into it then?
Sure, we can get on into it. So, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Audio Shop Podcast. We've decided, I guess we can say we've decided on a new standard of if we don't know what we're going to do, we're just going to start working through Takanaka's discography. Does that feel
Because he's got like,
accurate?
because he's got like, what, 5, 6 or so albums?
I mean, yeah, just, 35, give or take. But we've already
and counting. He's still active.
Yeah, he is. He hasn't released anything for a while though. But we're starting at the start here. We've reviewed a couple of them, but we've not done from the beginning. So from the beginning here, we've got Seychelles by Masayoshi Takanaka. And I'll give a little bit of history here. Obviously, the history of him is going to get briefer and briefer every single time we do a new one of these. But what is this? The fourth one we've done.
Yeah, you guys know who
guitar,
Takanaka is.
Rainbow Goblins, White Goblin. I don't think we've done any others.
We've only done 3 of his albums.
Yeah,
that's not even a 10th of his discography.
On Guitar isn't even included in his discography.
Oh goodness, that was an extra.
Just because it was just a little fun album he did. But he's a guitarist, composer, producer. He was born in 1953 in the Shinagawa Ward in Tokyo. He pretty much a founding member of the city pop genre. And his live performances get very unique as he often uses fun-shaped guitars, most famously his surfboard guitar. And he still is active to this day.
Yeah, still performing live.
Yeah. So Seychelles is Takanaka's debut studio album, released in 1976. It was originally released as a cassette. It wasn't on CD until 1984.
Wow.
So about 10 years. And according to the Japan Times, Takanaka's debut album, Seychelles, helped pioneer Japan's rock fusion scene.
Makes sense. This is his first album.
Yes. So we can get on into it with the first track, if you're ready, Coop.
Yes, we'll start with track number 1. Oh, Tango Suerte.
And I am extremely thankful for this album that you have taken it upon yourself that you're going to pronounce everything.
Well, this first one's in Spanish. I don't even speak Spanish, but
especially since a lot of these track names are either in Spanish or Japanese.
Which makes sense for a Japanese artist.
Yes. As we went on with Rainbow Goblins, it was obviously in English. But the names progressively become more and more readable.
Heck, even the narration in Rainbow Goblins was in English. That was on easy mode.
Yeah, the narration in both Goblin albums was English.
But yeah, the first track off of his first album.
And it's what a way to start it off as well. It is, very relaxing and vibey to roll into it. Kind of slow rolls you. It gets energetic, but it starts very calm. It does it almost can feel as if you can hear that water lapping against the shores.
Yeah, it's got a beachy yet kind of an acoustic-y vibe. I'm reminded almost of like America, the band. Their acoustic playing.
Yeah. That feels very accurate because the style is very laid back, and he comes out of the gate exactly knowing what he's doing. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like he's changed too much over time.
That is to say, to have some very bright, sunny electric guitar.
Yes, at least up through the 90s of his work. But this one, there's not a ton of instruments here. But they play together very well. The marimba guitar duet is a fantastic sound. I love it. And it really drives that beach vibe home.
The summer pop genre is always interesting because it's almost like obviously it's got like, it's rooted in like almost like beach rock.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously very influential in like the 60s with like the Beach Boys. But it's almost got this fusion of that with like this kind of more laid back instrumental and like I guess like infused with that synthiness underneath it, which kind of comes in here some with the organ and I guess the vibraphone background.
I thought it was marimba, but the only thing that is required to make it a vibraphone is you just got that spinny thing on the other side. So
maybe it does have this spinny thing we can't see.
Yeah, it probably is a vibraphone. Those are more popular. But towards the end, we do get some nice Wurlitzer organ popping up. And the song builds quite well to that point.
Yeah, and some singing.
Mm-hmm. I assume
just a little bit.
Spanish.
Fun fact, the lyrics for this song and songs 2 and 6 were written by Yukihiro Takahashi, which that name might not ring a bell for you, Sam, but he is the drummer for a certain Yellow Magic Orchestra, which is a band we've also reviewed on this album.
That's fun. The more you know. Yeah, I looked a little bit about who was working on this album, but I didn't look too closely. It still blows my mind that Seychelles is what, like one of the 2 or 3 of Takanaka's albums that actually have a Wikipedia page, and even at that, the Seychelles Wikipedia page is very scant.
And part of it may just be the English Wikipedia page.
Yeah, it's
versus the Japanese.
Oh, that's a very good point. I didn't think to go to Wikipedia / or .jp or whatever. I might have to do that, especially since auto translation is getting very good these days. But I think this is probably one of the strongest debut songs I've ever heard.
It's certainly, in terms of like setting the the mood or the tone of like his entire discography and career.
Yeah.
He comes out the gates kind of with a pretty clear voice.
He knows what he's about.
Yeah. That takes us to track number 2. Tokyo Reggae.
You want to try pronouncing that other
Tokyo Reggae.
Okay.
That's just the that's literally phonetically what it's pronounced.
Oop. Oh crap.
Or I guess it's Ragi, but yeah, I'm not sure if you know what reggae is, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, no, this. I think he picked it just because it sounds nice.
Maybe reggae in Tokyo is different than reggae in America.
Yeah, just a little bit. But this one is a prime example, I'd say, of how you do stereo sound. You got the bongos in the left ear, very bubbly guitar in the right, and the vocals bridging the two together. I think the Beach Boys and Beatles could have learned a thing or two from.
I mean, Paul McCartney, Takanaka, they're both still alive.
Yeah,
they could collab.
They could. Will they? I almost certainly not. But would it be really cool to see? Yeah, it would.
Yeah, no. This, I mean, obviously it carries on the city pop beach vibes here. Brings in some bass and a little bit of funk underneath, which will become more clear later in the album. I will say probably the one thing this album is a little bit more pulled back on is that Takanaka's guitar playing certainly gets a lot more showy in future albums.
Yes.
Where this one's it's a little more subdued, which I actually like because it fits the laid back island vibe.
This definitely feels more traditional. I say traditional, more 80s, 90s jazz guitar stylings, what was typical, rather than, where he ends up.
Takanaka does get a little, you could be charitable and say, flamboyant or indulgent sometimes with his guitar solos. But that's a little less here on this album.
Yeah. But still, fantastic guitar work.
Yes, of course.
And speaking of the guitar, if I could speak, the soaring guitar line with the vocals duetting, the string, while there's the string playing themes in the background, and I feel like a lot of these songs have some very generous echo on them, which makes it just feel that much bigger than it is.
Yeah, that's a bit of a dreamlike quality to it.
And there's the guitar solo duet at the 2:30 mark where there's a high part and a low part, and one is in each ear. That was really nice. I like that quite a lot.
Yeah, it makes for some very smooth listening.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. That's all you got, Sam? Then
yeah.
We can move on to track number 3 if you're ready.
I am.
Yeah. Track number 3, Shinkiro no Shime, or To the Mirage Island.
You still taking Japanese?
I dabble every now and then. I have been pretty lax on it.
That's fair.
But I still got a little in the back of my brain.
Way back in there.
Way back. So gotta blow off the dust every now and then.
But this one has a very low-key intro with some light guitar and synth, with even more echo than the previous songs turned up. And it really, I like the start of this. This is when I think of, I've not had the typical jazz diet growing up, but when I think of jazz, this is what I think of.
Yeah, you were like the other kids listening to jazz all day long. Yeah, you're rebellious. You're out there listening to rock and roll.
No. I think my leanings are a bit more city poppy than traditional jazz. When you say jazz, a lot of people think Louis Armstrong or something along those lines. This is what I think of here. Kind of that 80s, 90s, really soft guitar, very light percussion, but it's still got some oomph behind it.
Though it is, like you said, it's very mellow on this one. Like you said, also the tasteful organ and keyboard in the background, but it just had this. I mean, it's 1976, so it's kind of, I guess, even predating kind of that smooth, easygoing jazz that kind of became a lot more prevalent to the 80s and 90s. But yeah, where it's extremely kind of pulled back, doesn't really show its hand too much, and just kind of lets the song float along a little bit.
And It does kind of build up a little bit, but it still stays very calm throughout. We get some vocals that come in, but it's mostly humming with
Very
some
lightly.
non-verbal singing. Yeah, and it's really nice. And there's a little bit of a duet going on with the guitar line, and the non-verbal part comes up as the energy builds, and they put a little bit more oomph. Humming can only get you so far. You gotta put a little bit more oomph.
Yeah, this one doesn't quite have a. It doesn't really break open. It's a very even keel song.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit to its detriment, you know.
But
Probably the closest Takanaka gets to elevator music, but
I'd say that's a little harsh. But I will say the ending is very unsatisfying. It just kind of ends with a sudden drop off, which doesn't fit the vibe that the song had up to that point.
yeah, no, it doesn't. It just ends.
Yeah, kind of falls on its face. But jumping to track number 4, if you're ready, Coop.
Yes, track number 4, Akagari no Seshiru Shoto, or Dreaming of the Seychelles Islands.
Yeah, these titles are getting long because there's the phonetic Japanese, the kanji Japanese, and then the English.
The English I'm really good at.
Yeah. Thankfully, I can speak English.
I've been practicing that one for years.
Yeah, surprisingly good at it.
But I guess this is technically the title track. It's got the word Seychelles in it.
Yeah, well, there's a couple that have. Well, I guess there's not a couple that have it. It doesn't
just this one
feel like the title track.
It's certainly. I mean, the main melodic line is pretty distinctive.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously being carried by the electric guitar, but also having some of this funky bass guitar underneath and some low-key percussion in the background as well.
Yeah, it's got some really dreamy synth and bass as well that I quite enjoy. And I really like the main theme of this one. It kind of gets stuck in your head.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's quite distinctive.
Mm-hmm.
It's also paired with this floats in and out of the song, but also this nice kind of jazz keyboard
Mm-hmm.
that kind of keeps the melodic line going throughout. Again, very dreamlike with that kind of echoey quality and the more easygoing vibe.
Yeah, and then the back half of the song, you were saying the synth comes in and out. It's the back half is the synth.
Yeah, that's true.
It's dominated. We even get some of that non-verbal vocals and humming back as well.
Now the old doo-doo-doos.
Yes. But it's a really nice, kind of bringing the energy back up from the super calm track number 3.
Yeah, I mean, it still keeps the calmness, but I think this has a lot more of an anchor point to actually connect to. All right. Mirage Island was just kind of floating there. This one kind of it's like moving with purpose.
Yeah,
but even if it's at its own pace.
Floating there still is, not terrible. I still quite enjoy it.
It's not terrible. It's like eating cotton candy, Not a lot there.
Kind of fell apart in your mouth.
Yeah.
Well, jumping to track number 5, if you're ready, Coop.
Yes, track number 5, Funky Mei-chan. And they spelled funky with 2 E's.
That's how you know it's funky.
Hey, fair. Unlike the reggae song, this one does get funky.
Yes. This one has a very different vibe right off the bat. It's much more electronic sounding, without a lot of those what I would describe as the relaxing beach elements.
Yeah, it's got disco influences of anything.
Yeah.
Like Earth, Wind, and Fire, or like Heat Wave, where it's like obviously very bass guitar focused, but also those synth elements layered in.
Mm-hmm. And this is the track where we finally get our sax solo as well.
Of course, we've all been waiting for it.
There's a saxophonist on the album, but he hasn't appeared until now, and I'll say, worth the wait.
Yeah, they definitely held their hand there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's quite the solo too. Yeah. Which I think this was the song to do it if you're going to do it on any of them.
Yeah. It really goes for it. It's quite good. Just going absolutely crazy over the top there.
And I was looking up the the saxophonist. His name's Jake H. Concepcion. I think that's how you pronounce his last name.
Mm-hmm.
So broke out Jake for this album,
and it was well worth the investment because it really pushes the song forward and gives it a bit of that funk vibe, and it's over top of this really nice bubbly guitar. I don't know how, it's very round sounding. I don't know how else to describe it.
Oh yeah, it's got this almost like it's like Toe Jam and Earl, you know. It's like this very bloopy, you know, blobby synth or guitar that kind of pairs well with this funky disco vibe, and the sax, of course, which has a little bit more bite to it in terms of angles.
But if you're ready to move on to track number 6, Cooper.
Yes, track number 6. Sayonara Fuji-san, which is like Spanish rock vibe. This definitely switches gears again.
Yeah, I feel like once you get into the back half, it goes a little off the rails, just a tiny bit, from the theme. And the start of this one, I will say, sounds like bad royalty-free music.
I think it's particularly the cowbell in the background. Yeah. It's got like default keyboard percussion vibe to it.
It's the tone of that keyboard is quite bad. It's a lot nicer when the vocals come in, and the falsetto is kind of goofy, but I'll admit I actually really like I like the falsettos.
Yeah, they're a little goofy, but they're fun.
Yes.
And obviously, there's not like too many vocals throughout this album, and even less like sudden lyrics. So you know when they come in, they're a nice little treat.
This one is a little bit weaker instrumentally, I will say.
It is a little bit more straightforward. I do like the piano in the song, though. This is some very well played piano.
When it's not the default royalty free
piano. Oh yeah. It gets better as the song goes on.
That's really all I have for this one, I'll be honest. I wasn't the biggest fan of this one. It's a little rough around the edges.
Definitely a bit of a genre step out, but I think it has fun with it. It still keeps the kind of the island vibe, but kind of goes in a different direction with it.
Mm-hmm. Jump into track 7 if you're ready, Coop.
Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can get this one. Bado Ai Rando Kyoko, or Bird Island Express. I think Takanaka just likes birds.
Oh yes. The number of, because there's a song on this called the next track is Tropical Birds, and Tropic Birds, and then he has another track called Tropical Birds on another album. He's very consistent when it comes to his naming scheme, and then he has Funky Hollow Bird on another album.
He likes to kill goblins so he can turn into a bird.
Exactly. Yes. I think that's the album that has Funky Hollow Bird. I can't remember off the top of my head. Lots of birds.
Lots of birds.
Lots of birds and lots of overlapping guitars on this one with many, many different settings.
Yeah, this one kind of has some of the funk vibes, but it almost has a dare I say like country twang to it. There's certainly a bit of a two-step vibe going on.
Yeah, it's. I thought of it as we've got some classical jazz guitar going on, and then at the same time there's the kind of what was it? It was Steely Dan-esque guitar is the best way I could put it.
Yeah, where it's got the what's it called, like the mouth.
The talk box kind of setting
Yeah,
almost.
it's got a little bit of a talk box setting going.
Yeah.
It continues to be low key, but also like in a almost mischievous kind of way.
Yeah. And it's this one is, fairly simple as well, but it leaves quite an impression with there's just so many guitars. They don't stop.
Yeah, he's clearly going through the collection here, which I'm sure was only growing at this point in time.
Yeah, he had I wonder when his collection really got started. If he already had all the guitars prior to starting his career, or if once he started making some good money, that's when he started the collecting of all the crazy guitars.
He probably had a lot of guitars at this point, and then that only exacerbated as he went forward. All right, well, that takes us to our 8th and final track then, if you're ready, Sam.
I am.
Longest track on the album, Tropic Birds. Which starts as...
More birds.
More birds.
Not Bird Island Express.
No. And it starts with what you've all been expecting, which is layered male a cappella vocals.
Which I really like. It's one of the most relaxing things I've ever listened to, I think. And I really, really wish that this had been the outro rather than used right here.
Yeah, it's the singing on this album's been serviceable, right? This has not been the main focus. But here they obviously went for a little bit more quality because it's a very nice a cappella vibe, singing a very memorable melodic line.
Yeah. And it's so nice and so relaxing. And it's at the start of the song. And then once the intro finishes, it just launches into the actual track. And it's like, well, why not save that for the end? Why are you doing that right now?
I guess it kind of makes sense. They tied the a cappella back into the ending.
They do, but it doesn't feel right. It feels like the a cappella should happen only at the end.
I think it's a nice intro, but I see what you mean. It certainly is a very sudden shift about 2.5 minutes into it when they go from the a cappella to like the quote-unquote actual song.
Yeah. It was just a tiny bit jarring. But the song itself, very good.
Oh yeah, it starts with like some really nice funk guitar before it goes into the like Takanaka's electric guitar, and the sax comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, wasn't just used on one song.
We get some very nice strings in this one as well, and they're stacked to the ceiling. And surprisingly, the strings pair really well with somebody just going to absolute town on bongos.
Yeah, that bongo playing is excellent. I mean, the percussion so far throughout the album has been, okay. But the bongo player here is really putting his heart into it.
Yeah, just going wild with it.
Which I cannot blame them for wanting to end on a high note.
No, yeah, it really brings the next level to the album, or to the track, to the album too, but mainly to the track.
Yeah. I mean, it really does kind of tie into a lot of different elements from the album, instrumentally as well. and kind of, it's like, okay, we're gonna end on this funk jazz rock fusion, ender. Right, let's put it all into it and ratchet up the energy.
The singing outro, like we were talking about before, it's nice, but it really should have been that full acapella. Because imagine taking that acapella from the start and popping it at the end. That would.
I mean, I see why they did it. Like, this song ends very energetically, so it would be a little weird to have all that energy and then have the acapella outro.
But they already do that.
I guess so. Maybe they're trying to have their cake. I mean, you're right.
You can't have your cake.
It's a bit shorter.
It's already doing the acapella. You gotta pick.
Why do people say you can't have your cake and eat it too? You have to have a cake to be able to eat it. Come on.
But once you eat your cake, you no longer. What are you, the fucking Unabomber? Once you eat your cake, that was actually how they caught the Unabomber. Did you know that?
What?
He was very pedantic about that that phrase.
Oh, that one specifically?
Yes, it was. Was it? He would say it as, you can't eat your cake and have it too.
Oh, like he'd say it like the quote unquote correct way?
Yes. And when it was either his brother or his stepbrother read that in the manifesto, he was like, oh, shit. And that's how they caught him.
Wow. No, not the Unabomber.
Well, you're right, because they caught him.
That's true. Yeah, no, super strong ending song.
Yeah, very quality. I think, I don't know if deserving of the longest song on the album, but...
I mean, it's really two songs. It's the acapella song and the ending song.
That's a good point.
But yeah, and that's the end of the album.
That's all there is. So what would you say your favorite track is, Coop?
I mean, I honestly really did like Tropic Birds.
Yeah.
I know you didn't like the placement of the acapella, but that song had, great acapella section, great build throughout the instrumental section, brought in all the different elements. A little more energetic than the rest of the album, but it felt like kind of a bit of a swan song or a bird song, I should say, for the album as a whole. So I quite enjoyed it. What about you, Sam?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think I kind of got to go with the O Tengo Suerte. It's just such a good intro song.
It is a solid intro.
It's so nice to to start off there with it. It's a very, very strong. I think the fact that it's the first, studio album track as well really helps. It elevates my opinion of it. It's like you're coming out the gate swinging.
Puts his best foot forward.
Exactly. Yeah.
Makes you think, oh, this guy might have a career after this.
I think there's something to this Takanaka guy. So what about your least favorite, Coop? What would you say that is?
Oh, I mean, that's probably pretty easy with To Mirage Island.
Wow. Okay.
Just I appreciate a vibe song, a low energy song, but this one kind of goes nowhere and then ends nowhere. And not bad playing by any means, but just so mellow and so low energy, and then just kind of ends. Right? It didn't even have a bit of a payoff, so intimate. That's a little disappointing. So I'd have to say that one.
Oh, okay.
What about you, Sam?
I gotta say, Sayonara Fuji-san.
Oh, okay.
The royalty free aspect of that one was a little. It was a little hard to swallow.
That's fair, and it definitely had the percussion wasn't the best on that song.
No, it was a bit of a rough one. But it's not bad. It's just not good, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
Well, with that, that's the album.
It's the album.
We did our favorites and least favorites, and now we gotta give it a rating here. Do you remember who did the rating last time, Coop?
I think I want to say you did.
You think? Okay.
So yeah, I think that's my turn. So here at Audio Shop, me and Sam, huge car enthusiasts. Mm-hmm. We were actually the first people to drive to Japan.
Yep.
No one had even attempted it before. And basically all we had to do was we waited until it was winter, so the water was nice and cold. Mm-hmm. And then I just had Sam dropping some ice cubes in front of us as we drove, so it'd freeze the water, and we just kept doing that until we got to Japan.
Surprisingly easy.
Yeah, actually crashed right off the coast, so we didn't complete it, so, it happens. Just a couple thousand miles in, but, we'll try it again next year. But that's the reason we have our rating system where at the tip top we have showroom. That's the cream of the crop, the best of the best. That is your, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, you got to show it to everyone kind of album. Then all the way at the bottom, we've got your scrapyard there. Ooh, yuck, get it away from me, bottom of the barrel album you never want to listen to again. And then you got your like new, fixer-upper, use rental, and we'll give it a high or low depending on our mood that day. So with all that being said, Sam, how would you rate Seychelles by Masayoshi Takanaka?
Ooh, I'm really on the fence here. I think I got to give it a like room. It's not quite showroom, but giving it a like new feels wrong. If you had caught me probably 2 hours ago, I would have given it showroom. But I've kind of sat and thought about the end of the album for a little bit longer now, and it's not stuck with me in a good way. So I think I got to give it something right down the middle there. So what do you think, Coop? Would you rate this?
I'd be a little less generous. I'm feeling like a low, like new.
Wow, really low, like new.
Yeah, not quite a high fixer-upper, but there because it's got a very strong opening and closer. Yes. I think some of the middle tracks where he kind of dabbles in like disco and like Spanish rock, and they don't necessarily play the best. They're not bad. But and I appreciate that he was kind of going for different sounds throughout the album. But they're not bad. But I don't think they're the strongest set of tracks he's ever put together. Mm-hmm. To be fair, he started and ended on his strongest foot, which is a good thing to do with your album rollout. But I think some of the middling songs I could take or leave. So still a good album. Definitely worth listening to, and a very strong outing for his first solo album as well.
Yeah, extremely strong.
And this guy's probably got another 30 albums in him. Just listening to it right now.
You think?
Yeah, at least.
But yeah, that's kind of surprising. I thought you'd give it a little bit of a higher rating there.
No, I still very much enjoyed it. I some of the middle songs.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
A little less to my style, but still album I definitely would recommend.
No. Well, with that's the album. We're going to roll on over to the spare tire, which is just whatever else we've been listening to in the past. How long has it been since we did this last?
Couple weeks or so.
A little bit of time. So I've been listening to Seychelles quite a few times in that period. Just because it's for me it's one of his more relaxing albums. That really gets me into it. I'm not sure there's been much else. Let me see if I can get you. What about you, Coop? What have you been listening to as I try and figure out what I've been listening to?
Oh, let's see. What have I been listening to? I'm trying to remember what I haven't talked about yet. I listened to the new Haim album, I Quit, which was a very good album. I quite enjoyed it. I listened through the Quarteto MC album. They're self-titled. Really great, like female vocalist album.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Actually, I was curious about why the drummer from Yellow Magic Orchestra was writing lyrics for Takanaka's first solo album.
Yeah.
So I did a bit of a dive into that, and it turns out that they were actually in a band together.
Really?
Prior to both Yellow Magic Orchestra and Takanaka's solo career.
Okay.
Called the the Sadistic Mika Band.
Mm-hmm.
It's like led by this like wife-husband duo. And I listened to their like first album, and it was like straight up sock hop, which was a little
I'm sure you loved it then.
It wasn't bad. I mean, but it like definitely wasn't utilizing Takanaka's skills as they would become known.
Yeah.
And their next album, their self-titled, was a little bit more interesting. But apparently the husband and wife divorced. Oh. And then the Yellow Magic Orchestra drummer and Takanaka formed their spin-off band called the Sadistics.
Okay.
Which was extremely similar to Takanaka's sound leading up to his solo career.
Okay. So I'll have to check that out then, because my favorite Takanaka performances are his early stuff.
Oh yeah, so let me their album We Are Just Taking Off. Actually, I'll just link it in the Discord. It's interesting kind of hearing. Obviously, it was kind of branded as a band, but a lot of the Takanaka DNA is in there. I'll say their song Blue Carousel is probably their most famous from that.
Okay, yeah. Well, we already listened to that on that was on guitar.
Yes.
Had that one.
So. But yeah, so it turns out I just listened to more Takanaka.
There was a good thing there wasn't enough Takanaka to listen to already, you know.
Yeah, just this is my third album I've reviewed of him in like a month.
There's so many albums that I'm having trouble keeping track of which ones I've listened to. I'll be like, I don't think I've listened to this one yet, and then I'll listen to it. I'm like, oh yeah, I
have. Once you're poppy, you just can't stop. Like, just keep having Takanaka. Oh yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, I've just been listening to Yellow, going through the list. Yeah, it's just been Yellow.
Some things never change.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
All right. Well, I think that's it then.
Yeah, that's all we've got for this week. If you've liked what you heard and you want to hear some more of it, you can go down on the Twitch page. There's a picture of Jeff Lynne. He's the guy with the perm afro and the aviators on, and they'll take you to YouTube, where almost all of our past episodes are. And if you're listening on YouTube and you want to berate us live in the chat and maybe get us to respond, since nobody ever chats, you can go to the Twitch page, which is in the description of the YouTube. And we also have a Blue Sky.
Yes, you can follow us at Blue Sky, Audio Shot Pod, that's POD. We'll let you know what album we're listening to and when we're going to listen to it. Or, maybe we'll just let you know what Takanaka album we're going to listen to next.
Yeah, if we can't figure out what we're doing.
Takanaka fan club over here. But yeah, that's it on my end.
Yeah, that's all we've got. And we will see you next time.
See you later, Shoppies.
See ya.